Question, are you getting hit with all sorts of banking fees? Well, a new study shows that you are far from alone. Bank fees are going up during the pandemic.
KSL consumer investigator Matt Gephardt joins us. Matt, extra fees that we don't need right now, so what can we do about it?
Yeah, guys, banks, I should say, are always on the prowl for ways to bump up their bottom lines. But who needs a slew of bank fees draining their wallets, especially during this tough COVID economy? Well, there is some good news. Experts say with a little work, you can avoid them. You might call it account inflation. ATM fees up, overdraft fees up, checking fees, you guessed it, up.
Most banks aren't giving customers a break despite the pandemic.
Richard Barrington with MoneyRates.com says Americans are paying more than $170 a year just for the privilege of having a checking account. The average overdraft fee, now $32. So what can you do about it? Well, start paying attention to how much you are getting charged every month.
They may not sound like that big a deal, but boy, you add them up over the course of a year, and it's like, yeah, that's significant.
Some banks will waive fees if you maintain a certain daily balance, but if you can't, don't be afraid to break up with your bank.
If you take a fresh look at things now, you really can stand to save some money.
Barrington says less than 1/3 of big banks offer free checking, but about half of small banks offer free checking, and nearly 75% of online banks do. Plus, their ATM and overdraft fees tend to be much less. And while big banks do have convenient networks, COVID could bring more people to online banks.
When you do start banking online, it's like, hey, you know what? This is a lot easier, and I didn't really enjoy going to my branch that much. The friendly teller wasn't that friendly. The lollipops weren't that good. I mean, I can buy a lot of lollipops for $170 a year in fees that I'm saving.
Yeah, and you know, when you think about it, what a hassle, right? You get your direct deposit plus anything else tied to your bank account. Maybe it's not worth it to you. Well, I brought that to the experts, and they said, you know, think about what you make in an hour. It probably takes about an hour to redo all that stuff. Do you make $170 an hour?